Willie D live.
What's up, family? We got a white woman from Ocean Springs, Mississippi, who is calling for transparency in the Nolan Wells case. I ain't got no problem with that. And here's why. When white people publicly speak up in the Nolan Wells case, it takes the conversation beyond just black people defending a black victim. You dig what I'm saying? So her voice is necessary, like all the other voices that have been speaking up and out against the lack of transparency in this case. Her name is Noel. Check out.
Hi, my name's Noel, and I'm a resident of Ocean Springs, and I have lived in Ocean Springs since 2015. I am here to ask for transparency for the Nolan Wells case. There has been a history of systemic racism that we have experienced since I've lived in Ocean Springs. Some of it has involved the KKK. And then we don't have a lot of transparency with the DA's office and grand juries, or county grand juries. And so I'm just here, to ask for more transparency. Also, we know that there's been a history of medical misconduct and gross negligence within the Mississippi Medical Examiner's office. So I would hope that we could get changes to our system that would improve that, because right now we've just had changes to personnel. Thanks.
Now, I'm going to tell you why this world that we live in, this country that we live in, this society that we live in is so unbearable at times. Because what she's saying is controversial. And she's only speaking truth to power. She's only talking about, living in a decent society. Living in a society where right is right and wrong is wrong, where nobody gets a pass or an advantage simply because of the color of their skin. That is the most ignorant damn thing I've ever heard of in my life. The color of your skin, you get just because of the color of your skin, you supposed to be in. That's it. You ain't did nothing. Do you understand that none of us are responsible for our skin color? We didn't earn it. None of us earned it. None of us. It's not one human being alive that earned their skin color. I can see if you did something on your own merit. I can see if you went out and earned it. Man, I got my skin color, man. I got that black, man. Yeah, I earned it. Yeah, I went out there and got it, boy. I put that work in. People giving you trophies and stuff, boy, because you got the right exact hue, hue. You did it exactly right. You got the right percentage of skill. Man, you worked on that, boy. You went and got that white skin, boy. You got that white. It's perfect white. It's like, man, it's phenomenal how you was able to go out there and accomplish that. You did something that only a few people can do. It's the stupidest shit I've ever heard, fam. It is really stupid. And what I realized about racism is that, all of us are who we are by a process of conditioning. And the people who have hurt us the most, who are responsible for our strongest convictions, are the people who are closest to us. Think about it. If you were abused as a child, it was probably somebody that looked like you, that shared your color, your background, right? If you got cheated on, it was probably somebody that looked like you, because hey, you don't date nobody outside of your race, right? If somebody owe you some money and you got a problem loaning money these days, they didn't pay you back. It was probably somebody that looked like you. If you got jumped at school, you got bullied at school, it was probably somebody that looked like you, right? If you got cheated on, it was probably somebody that looked like you. Or did I already say that? You see what I'm saying, fam? It's like these type of experiences shape our strongest convictions. So how is it that we're able to hate someone who hadn't caused a fraction of the harm that people that look like us did? But the people that look like us, we just kind of deal with it. We don't try to kill them. We don't try to shoot them in the head, at traffic stops. We don't try to drown them. We don't try to act like we're going out boating with them and then kill them. We don't shoot them while lying in the bed, sleep. We don't shoot them in the head at a sleepover. You see what I'm saying, fam? It's the darndest thing. Noel said she wants change. She wants transparency in Mississippi. Now, I don't know what that is. Transparency in Mississippi, everybody going to jail because Mississippi is corrupt and tore up from the flow up, right? She said that this racism and stuff is, straight up called the KKK out. The grand juries. She said there's lack of transparency in the DA's office. You got the DA's office, you got gross negligence in the medical examiner's office. And we know about that. The medical examiner in Mississippi, one of the worst of the absolute worst. In corporate America, if somebody moved like that, they would not have a job. It just amazes me how people can be incompetent and how people can be corrupt. They can be dangerous and maintain employment with the same company. Absolutely amazing. She said she wants changes to the system because right now, it's just changes to personnel. You see? It's just changes to personnel. It's the same system. That's why policing in America ain't changed in 160 years. It's the same old thing. Because it's a system. So the system has to be dismantled. And they're not in no hurry. They're not in any hurry. They're not excited about dismantling a system that they constantly abuse and reward themselves and pat themselves on the back for maintaining. It's the system that they built. It's corrupt. It's totally inadequate. And this is why we continue to have the same issues, because the people just change, the names just change, but they go into the same exact system. I'll give you an example. So remember when the New England Patriots was winning all those Super Bowls and stuff? They was winning all those championships. It didn't matter who they brought in. And they brought in good players, don't get me wrong. But those players' games were elevated by the system that Bill Belichick, and is it Bill Belichick? I think it's Bill Belichick. And the owner, I can't say his name, Robert Kraft. Yeah, that's him. They had created. It was a system that they went into, and that system worked as good as any business system has ever worked. So if you came in, you went over here, you got over here. It was the best of the best. Always players that performed mediocre in certain cities, once they went into that system in New England, they looked like superstars. They performed at the highest level. The game just stepped up, tremendously by being in that system. So a system could be good for you or it could be bad. The system, if you work, that's why when they talk about business, they talk about systems. Get a system. Once you put a system together, then that's how you get to the big money. And that's how you're able to continue to do what you do and almost on autopilot because you have a system in place. So these people got a system in place and it's on autopilot. And it's on autopilot, corrupt. And that's what's going on in Mississippi. And that's why this case is still open, right? That's why they don't have any body in jail right now. That's why they didn't make any arrest. They made no charges because these dudes are being protected by a system. And I would dare say that Nolan Wells was murdered because somebody thought it would be cool because the system would protect them. R.I.P. Nolan Wells. No more talk.